Greetings everyone, welcome to a new episode of Mr. Bioinformatics. In May 1939, Batman made his first appearance in Detective Comics. An artist named Bob Kane created the character with a writer named Bill Finger, who added many of the key details we associate today with Batman, like his iconic costume, backstory, and the darker world of Gotham City. A year later in 1940, Batman became so popular that he got his own comic series. The first issue, Batman 1, introduced famous villains like Joker and Catwoman. So although Batman first appeared in 1939, his solo adventure began in 1940. Batman has evolved with times. In his early years, starting in 1939, he was portrayed as a darker, more violent vigilante. What? So Mr. Bioinformatics, Batman was introduced as a violent? Yes, my dear, but as the society's tastes changed, especially in 1950s and 1960s, Batman's character lightened up, most famously in the campy 1960s TV series. By 1980s, creators like Frank Miller brought Batman back to his darker roots, turning him into the brooding figure we see in The Dark Knight Returns. This ability to adapt to changing social attitudes has been a big part of Batman's lasting appeal. Unlike many other superheroes, Batman has no superpowers. Instead, he relies on his intellect, detective skills, and intense physical training. His status as a self-made hero resonates with fans across generations. People connect with his human vulnerabilities, which make his victories feel earned, not as a result of superhuman gifts. My dear viewer, have you ever asked yourself why we love Batman? Our love for fantasy characters like Batman is rooted in several psychological and social factors, which have been explored in many studies. For example, fiction lets us take a break from our real life and dive into imaginary worlds. It's like mental vacation where you can experience adventures, fantasy, or different scenarios that aren't part of our everyday reality. Fictitious characters help us to relax, reduce stress, and momentarily forget about our own problems. New neuroscience research from the Queen's Reading Room in the United Kingdom, which is a non-profit organization, shows that reading fiction for just 5 minutes can reduce stress by about 20%. These effects come into effect almost immediately and facilitate changes in the brain that help us manage future stressful or difficult tasks. On 8th of April 2022, a research titled 5 Studies Evaluating the Impact on Mental Health and Remote Recalling, Reading and Discussing Fiction was published. The first 3 studies directly recruited participants. The final 2 relied on scrapped social media data from Reddit and Twitter, which is X now. Results showed that fiction can have a positive impact on measures of mood and emotions, but that a process of mnemonic or cognitive consolidation is required first. Exposure to fiction does not on its own have an immediate impact on well-being. A study from Kyoto University in Japan, published on 6th of April 2017, titled "Why Are We Attracted to Heroes? The Role of Admiration, Perceived Similarity, and Cognitive Evaluation in Heroism." The study revealed that humans are drawn to heroes from a very young age. In the study, 6-month-old babies watched animations where one character either helped prevent a collision between 2 other characters or simply watched without intervening. When given a chance to choose between replicates of the characters, the babies consistently chose the one that had intervened to help, indicated that they preferred the character that took action to protect the others. This suggested that the concept of heroism is deeply ingrained in us, even before we can speak. Pro-social behavior such as helping, sharing, and benefiting others encourage us to adopt similar actions. Superheroes who often make great personal sacrifices to help others inspire us to embrace these values. How does that inspire and impact us? Social comparison theory, introduced by psychologist Leon Festinger in 1954, suggested that we look up to those excelling in specific areas, which motivates us to emulate their traits. Superheroes with their pro-social behavior serve as inspirational figures, encourages us to be courageous and helpful, even in challenging situations. This idea is supported by academic research. On 30th of January 2013, a study titled Virtual Superheroes Using Superpowers in Virtual Reality to Encourage Pro-Social Behavior. The study was conducted at Stanford University. The research aimed to explore whether experiencing superpower in virtual reality could increase helping behavior in the real world. Participants either used a virtual reality setup to fly like a superhero or rode as passenger in a helicopter. After their virtual experience, they were asked to help pick up spilled pens. The study found that those who had the virtual power to fly were significantly more likely to assist with pens compared to those who were passengers. This suggested that virtual reality can effectively boost pro-social behavior by making individuals feel like superheroes. On 7th of August 2024, a study published by a university in Brazil titled Superhero Films Impacts on Pro-Social Behavior: The Mediating Role of State Empathy and Violence Justification. The study explored how superhero films impacted pro-social behavior. The research involved 2 online experiments with a total of 400 Brazilian volunteers, each 200 for a study. Using a scene from Batman vs Superman as the stimulus, the study measured pro-social behavior through a food allocation task. Results showed that despite featuring violent elements, superheroes films positively impact pro-social behaviors. These effects were mediated by associative empathy in Study 1 and moral justification in Study 2. Okay, so now we know why we love superheroes movies and why Batman have been a favorite for so long time. But what suddenly made us fall in love with Joker? Unlike previous Batman related films, Joker shifted focus from the classic struggle between good and evil to a deeper exploration of the human condition and profound personal strife. The movie was released in October 2019. The film, directed by Todd Phillips, tells us the story of Arthur Fleck, a man struggling with circumstances and mental illness, who eventually becomes infamous Joker. The movie was a massive success, earning over $1.07 billion worldwide and receiving about 11 academic award nominations, largely due to Jacquin's outstanding performance. The Joker is infamous for his erratic behavior, including an unsettling laugh that seems out of place, crying when seemingly happy, and breaking into a ballet-like dancer after traumatic events. This portrayal raises questions about whether such behavior is purely Hollywood fiction or it reflects such a medical condition. In reality, the condition depicted in the movie is called Pseudobulbar effect, but did the movie get it right? In order to know, we should first understand what Pseudobulbar effect disorder. In 1911, Hermann Oppenheim used phrases like Pseudobulbar effect to describe explosive bursts of laughter or weeping. Pseudobulbar effect is characterized by brief uncontrollable outbursts of crying or laughter that are connected with patients' feeling of sadness or joy. It's also known as emotional liability disorder or involuntary emotional expression disorder. PBA is caused by the disruption of neural pathways between the center of emotional control in the frontal lobe and the reflex centers in the brainstem, resulting in involuntary episodes of anger, laughter, or tears. The Joker's laugh is a key part of the character. It shows his crazy thoughts, his funny and sad feelings, and how he sees the world. The laugh is scary and makes him seem even more dangerous. It has changed over time, but it's also always been important to understand the Joker. The Joker first appeared in the film Batman the movie, which was released in 1966. However, the Joker's first appearance as a character predates this movie and can be traced back to Batman 1 in the comics, which was published, as we said, in 1940 by DC Comics. Several actors and creators have had a hand in making the Joker's laugh iconic. Not only Cesar Romero, who contributed to the Joker laugh, but also Mark Hamill's Joker in Batman, the animated series in 1992, had a funny, scary laugh that shows how crazy the character was. Also, Heath Ledger's Joker in The Dark Knight 2008 had a creepy, scary laugh that showed how crazy and unpredictable the character was. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker in the movie Joker 2019 had a sad, painful laugh that showed how crazy and the broken character was. The pseudobulbar effect is sometimes described in patients with pseudobulbar palsy. Pseudobulbar palsy occurs when damage to a specific part of the brain, the corticobulbar tracts, causes collection of neurological symptoms. This damage, often due to upper motor lesions, can be caused by factors such as traumatic brain injuries, brainstem tumors, infections, chronic conditions like Parkinsonism disease, and multiple sclerosis or strokes. This condition leads to a range of symptoms, such as difficulty in speaking or swallowing, which may lead to inhaling bites of food or liquids, which can cause aspiration pneumonia. Also, facial and tongue weakness, fast mood changes, and emotional liability. What does it mean, emotional liability? Emotional liability or pseudobulbar effect involves abnormal emotional expressions like uncontrollable laughter or crying, often with limited facial expressions. Pathological laughter has also been reported in association with many tumors of posterior fossa, particularly those involving pons and midbrain. In the film, laughing episodes are excessive and inappropriate in related to the context in which they occur. For example, in the scene where Arthur Fleck is trying to make a child laugh on the bus, the child's mother approaches him. Immediately, Arthur begins to laugh uncontrollably while he tries to cover his mouth and making gestures to explain this is not his intention, but that he cannot avoid it. He even carries a card with the legend, "Forgive my laughter, I have a condition." It's a medical condition causing sudden, frequent, and uncontrollable laughter that doesn't match how you feel. It can happen in people with brain injury or certain neurological conditions. My dear beautiful viewer, this syndrome is more common than you might think. A study was published on 2nd of November 2015 titled Prevalence of Pseudobulbar Effect Symptoms and the Clinical Correlates in Nursing Home Residents. Out of these 412 participants, 17.5% were diagnosed with pseudobulbar effect, and among all nursing home residents, 9% had the pseudobulbar effect. In October 2014, a study published in the journal Neuropsychiatric Disease and Treatment at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine suggested that between 5.3% and 48.2% of people with traumatic brain injury may experience symptoms consisting with pseudobulbar effect. Someone might ask a question, Mr. Bioinformatics, what makes this syndrome particularly challenging? Well, what makes this syndrome challenging is that pseudobulbar is often mistaken for psychiatric conditions, such as depression or bipolar disorders. Researchers estimate that 2 million to 7 million people in the United States have pseudobulbar effect. Can you imagine how many jokers we may have in the United States now? This range is large because pseudobulbar can vary in severity and is often misdiagnosed. Pseudobulbar is distinguished from depression by brief episodes and the absence of sleep disturbance, loss of appetite, and other neurovegetative features of depression. Because pseudobulbar palsy can result from various conditions, your healthcare providers may suggest several tests to diagnose or exclude potential causes. These tests typically include blood tests, spinal tap for cerebrospinal fluid analysis, imaging studies such as brain MRI, and electroencephalogram EEG, and cognitive assessments. But what is the pathogenesis of pseudobulbar effect, and how does this syndrome occur? Although the exact pathogenesis of PBA is not fully understood, the cerebellum plays a key role in regulating the motor aspects of emotions by modulating inputs from the motor, frontal, and temporal cortices. Disruption in these pathways can lead to pseudobulbar effect, causing uncontrolled emotional expressions. So did Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal of the Joker get the condition right? As evidence of the numerous scenes of the Joker laughing in situations of discomfort or fear, it appears he suffers from Pseudobulbar effect. However, Hollywood has certainly embellished this portrayal. For instance, his exaggerated belly dance after traumatic event cannot be solely attributed to Pseudobulbar effect. Additionally, while the character may be experiencing another underlying psychiatric condition, there are no clear signs of ALS, MS, Alzheimer's disease, stroke, or Parkinson's disease condition known to be associated with Pseudobulbar effect. A study on the prevalence of motor neuron disease, including pseudobulbar palsy, reveals that prevalence increases, particularly after 50 years of age. Incidence is higher in males compared to females. On 5th of November 2018, a study published titled Global Regional and National Burden of Motor Neuron Disease 1990 to 2016. The study reported more than 330,000 global cases of motor neuron disease, resulting in about 926,000 disability-adjusted life years and more than 340,000 deaths. The disability-adjusted life years, or DALYs, measures the total burden of disease by combining years of life lost due to premature death with the years lived with disability from illness or injury. The prevalence of motor neuron disease was about 4.5 per 100,000 people, reflecting a 4.5% increase over the study period. The highest prevalence was observed in North America, about 16.8%, Australasia 14.7%, and Western Europe about 12.9%, while it was lower than expected in high-income Asia-Pacific regions. No specific risk factors were identified in links to the incidence. Pseudobulbar effect not only affects individuals with motor neuron disease, but also those with stroke. It impacts about 1 to 5 patients with acute stroke and about 1 in 8 patients with chronic stroke. So why did we love Joker after watching the movie? One reason could be empathy. Arthur Fleck, the main character, struggles with conditions that leaves him vulnerable to uncontrollable outbursts of laughter, which mirrors the experience of real-life conditions like Pseudobulbar effect. On 23rd of October 2015, researchers at the Boston University School of Public Health, they conducted a study titled Association of Pseudobulbar Effect Symptoms with Quality of Life and Healthcare Costs in Veterans with Traumatic Brain Injury. The study explored how Pseudobulbar effect impacts quality of life and healthcare costs of veterans with traumatic brain injury. The researchers used two main tools to assess quality of life. The first one is a questionnaire, which evaluates 5 health areas: mobility, self-care, usual activity, pain, discomfort, and anxiety, depression, on a scale 1 to 5. Visual Analog Scale (VAS), where individuals rate their overall health from 0 to 100. The study found that more severe PBA symptoms were associated with a decline in quality of life across all measured areas and higher healthcare costs. On December 29, 2017, researchers from SUNY, or Buffalo School of Pharmacy and Pharmaceutical Sciences, they published a study titled Introduction to Pseudobulbar Effect, setting the stage for recognition and familiarity with the challenging disorder. The experiment involved analyzing prevalence of Pseudobulbar effect symptoms across various neurological conditions. The study found that Pseudobulbar effect significantly impacts the quality of life for both patients and caregivers. It highlighted the patient's experience distressing emotional outbursts leading to social dysfunction and anxiety and depression, while caregivers face increased burden and uncertainty. The film makes us empathize with Arthur Fleck's struggles, reflecting experiences we all face. From the start, we see him mistreated. So how many times have you felt unfairly treated at work or in life? His deeply empathy toward others, like his mothers and colleagues, and his longing for connection resonate with our own need for kindness and understanding Arthur's trauma. Symbolized by his frozen smile, mirror how we cope with overwhelming stress. Have you ever felt ignored or misunderstood despite your own pain? These shared experiences of loneliness injustice, and the need for empathy make us connect with Arthur's character, even he turns violence. On 21st of April 2020, a study published titled Can Bad Be Good? The Attraction of a Darker Self by Northwest University. The study explored why people are drawn to fictional villains who are similar to themselves. In simpler terms, people find it fascinating to explore their darker side through fictional villains when they feel safe. The researcher found that people usually avoid comparing themselves to negative characters. However, when they feel safe and their self-image isn't threatened, they are more drawn to villains with similar traits. In simpler terms, people find it interesting to explore their own darker side through fictional characters when they don't worry about how it affects their self-image. We should approach people with Pseudobulbar effect with empathy and kindness, understanding their struggles and offering compassionate support. At the same time, it's important to set boundaries to ensure that they don't unintentionally harm others. Encouraging them to seek medical help and visit a doctor is crucial for managing their symptoms effectively and improving their quality of life. By combining empathy with practical assistance, we can support them in a way that respects their needs while ensuring a safe and respectful environment for everyone. We should advise them to take their medicine. So really, Mr. Bioinformatics, there is a medicine for Pseudobulbar. Yes, my friend. Treatment for Pseudobulbar effect can be very effective. It typically includes selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors to boost serotonin and manage emotional symptoms, or tricyclic antidepressants to regulate mood by affecting serotonin and noradrenaline. There is also the dextromethorphan-quinidine combination, which specifically targets the Pseudobulbar effect by enhancing emotional control. By understanding and utilizing these treatment options, we can provide better support to those dealing with Pseudobulbar effect and improve their quality of life. And you, my beautiful viewer, if you suffer from any condition like depression or neurological disorder, don't hesitate to ask for support from family and friends. Remember, seeking help is a sign of strength, not weakness. And with that, we've reached the end of our episode. Thanks for watching. See you next time.